أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we are just 10 days away from Ramadan, and the series that we had been continuing, I decided to take a break and talk about little bit related aspects related to Ramadan. So one thing today that I wanted to talk about is a kind of worship, Itikaf. So we are aware of different kinds of worship. We know what is Salah, we know Siyam, we know Hajj, Dua, Dhikr. These are all different kinds of worship. But this is something many people neglect or they do not know about it. And we always hear the rulings about Siyam, what breaks our fasting and so on. But many people do not know what has to happen in Itikaf and what are the rulings that we need to be aware of. So inshallah, we hopefully people will learn and also implement this in their lives, inshallah. And this is also beneficial for sisters, and as we are going to discuss. So what exactly is Itikaf? Again, the way we say it, the pronunciation, many brothers do it incorrectly. There's ayn there, so we say Itikaf. And this basically means staying in the masjid, refraining yourself from the worldly pleasures, worldly desires, and devoting yourself completely to Allah. Let's look into detail the meaning of Itikaf, what exactly it comprises. So there are three aspects to Itikaf, okay? It's basically about staying in the masjid, remaining in the masjid. It's a spiritual retreat, basically. So first thing in Itikaf, it's all about worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Itikaf is not a camp, it's not something that Muslim brothers get together and do something. No, it is mainly about worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's complete devotion to Allah. And also second thing in this definition is the seclusion. That means you remain in the masjid. You do not go out. So you're completely cut off from the world itself. And also the third part of the definition is dedication. That means you cut yourself from people. You can talk, but you do not get involved in worldly matters. And we will see what is prohibited, what is disliked, and what are the things that we should do, and all those things. But this is the basic definition. It is basically meaning of Itikaf is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by remaining in the masjid and also cutting away from the people, from the worldly issues. And the one who is doing Itikaf is called Mu'takif. And there's also a very similar word called Ma'kuf. Ma'kuf means, the person when he is like locked up, when he's like imprisoned in the jail, he is called Ma'kuf. So very similar word. Mu'takif or Itikaf also has similar meaning. That means a person who is like inside the masjid, he is not going out. It's very similar to imprisonment, but this is something that he makes his own decision to come to the masjid. And obviously, like every other worship, we are required to have intention of Itikaf. So a person just comes in and just wants to hang out with somebody and spends the night in the masjid, but in the heart he doesn't have intention, then that is not called Itikaf. So what exactly is the purpose of Itikaf? Itikaf is all about spiritual cleanliness. It's all about the rewards that you get in it, and we will see what are the benefits and what happens. And its main goal is to seek Allah's pleasure, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure. So what exactly the Itikaf, what is the ruling on it? Is it something that we compulsorily have to do? Is it something recommended, or is it a communal obligation? What is it? Or is it something just voluntary thing? So the majority of the scholars, they said that Itikaf is sunnah. It is a mustahab thing. It is a recommended thing. So if you are not doing i'tikaf, it's not that you will be thrown in the hellfire for not doing it. Like if somebody is not offering 5-time prayers, then it's a problem. It's a problem. They can be punished in the hellfire. But i'tikaf is something which is sunnah. It is mustahab. Mustahab means something which is recommended, which is good to do. And why is it a sunnah? When do we say something is a sunnah? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always used to make i'tikaf, and whenever he does something in a continuous basis, this becomes a sunnah. This becomes a part of our sharia. And you know, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he migrated from Mecca to Medina, when he made the hijrah, all those years, the 9-10 years, he made i'tikaf in Medina. All those years. And he was very persistent. That is why this is a persistent sunnah that he used to do, sunnah mu'akkada, as we say. Some scholars, you might have heard them, they say that it is like a communal obligation that you have to do. But it's not communal obligation. It's not for the kifaya. It's sunnah. So they basically, I mean, whenever you say something is a fard or fard kifaya, you need evidences. And the majority of the scholars saw all the ahadith and all the verses from the Quran, and they said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never said about i'tikaf as a command, like as he would say, you know, offer 5-time prayers. You know, that's a command. You know, you you make siyam, you do hajj. That came as a command, but this one came as, you know, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that if you do, it's good. Whoever wishes to. But however, one thing that we have to know, that this is something which people are forgetting. This is a sunnah which people are forgetting, the forgotten sunnah. People are not really they pay that much heed to it. And unfortunately, people think this is something that is to be done by old people or students or somebody who are retired. That's what it's kind of they think. But this is completely wrong attitude. So the problem is, people think, you know, yeah, they say that, you know, yeah, i'tikaf is a good thing, but you know what, I will do that in my home. I will read a lot of Quran at home. I will do a lot of dhikr, a lot of salah. I'll get the same rewards, but i'tikaf is also good. So the problem here is that people do not understand the value of i'tikaf. They underestimate i'tikaf. And we will see, inshallah, what's the power of i'tikaf, what are the benefits. So, you know, the thing here is that there is a sunnah, and if it is being forgotten, then it's a big problem. Like we just prayed Maghrib Salah now, right? How would you feel if like nobody is offering the 2 rakah sunnah after the 4th prayer? If people are like, yeah, it's just a sunnah, we don't have to do it. How would you feel if nobody offers? There's something wrong in it, isn't it? So that's why the scholar said that, you know, those who said that it is kifaya, there's a communal obligation. That's why they are coming from that. If nobody is doing this sunnah, then it's a problem. Somebody has to do it. So let's see. One thing about this i'tikaf, as I said, it is a sunnah, but sometimes it can become obligatory. Sometimes it is compulsory to do i'tikaf. It's a situation where, like for example, if a person makes a pledge. So if a person says, for example, oh Allah, if you, for example, give me a job, I will make i'tikaf in the masjid. So he is making a pledge now, he's making a vow. So when he does that, he has to fulfill it, and it becomes obligatory. It is no longer a sunnah. But otherwise, generally speaking, it is a sunnah. And interestingly, you know, the Arabs, the pagan Arabs at that time, in the early days, before Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came in, they used to make i'tikaf too in the Masjid al-Haram. That was existing long time ago. And Umar radiallahu anhu, he one time came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he said that, Ya Rasulullah, I made a pledge during my jahiliyyah. I was not even a Muslim at that time, and I made a vow to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to perform i'tikaf. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that you must fulfill your vow if you said like that. So Umar radiallahu anhu performed i'tikaf after he became a Muslim as well. So the pledges we'll cover someday. It's very, very important that you fulfill it. So what are the benefits of i'tikaf? What are the rewards that we get? So i'tikaf, it's all about the heart. It's all about the heart. When we are in the world, doing our job, taking care of the family affairs, doing all the worldly stuff, the love of the world gets in our heart. Of course, we know what is halal and haram, but the thing is that the love of world, when it gets inside the heart, even though you do all good things, your spirituality gets affected. Your spirituality gets affected, and as you can imagine, like your heart to be like rusty, just like how iron gets rusty, your heart also gets rust because of the worldly effect. Everybody goes after the world. Even if you're doing halal things, your heart will get affected. So that's the problem. So if you ask people, brother, there is this brother, for example, he is not offering Fajr prayer, right? So if you ask him, why he's not offering Fajr prayer, he wants to offer 5 prayers. He knows it is obligatory, but it's just that he is getting lazy, he is getting negligent. He wants to pray, but he is very, not able to get that much of taqwa to perform the Fajr prayer. This is the weakness of the heart, weakness of the iman. And if we were to offer here, like for example, whoever comes to the Fajr prayer, first person will get like $1 million. Definitely that person will come. That person knows that Allah is greater than $1 million, of course, but it's just that the love of the world that takes over. The sleep becomes beloved to the person. So that kind of situation, that can be removed, that this rusty heart can be removed by i'tikaf. That's a spiritual training, i'tikaf. So this is an ibadah, this is a worship where you get so much close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you draw very close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you will see, the things that we do in i'tikaf in the next slides, you completely cut off from the people, and when you do that, you only think about you and Allah, that's it. So that is one benefit of that rust goes away when you have that kind of feeling. And you also live in privacy with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You enjoy that pleasure, you get that sweetness, you get to enjoy that. That's the benefit. And also it changes person's life. So many people you must have seen who do i'tikaf, after i'tikaf they start to change. They start to change because it brings immediately positive results, even after Ramadan, for a long time, until again then worldly pleasures take over his life if he is not able to resolve. But it completely formats, completely makes your system very, very clean. And also, it's a special thing. We are all guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this masjid, but these are the special guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will be taken care by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in terms of the guidance, the blessings that they are to receive. There are a lot of hadith that talk about the sins will be forgiven if whoever performs i'tikaf, and there will be like they're moved away from the fire many distance. Some of them are dhaif hadith, but regardless, the thing here is that i'tikaf, it is one of the best worship. And